At Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, we've got a vehicle to fit any budget. Clean, low-mileage, one-owner cars, trucks, and SUVs, and plenty of certified program vehicles that can save you thousands. Stop the search. Call Mike Birch, and all inventory's online at MikeBirchFord.com.
Jessup Premium Storage, 1455 South 1st Street is Jessup's best place to store your valuables. Whether it's furniture between moves or just a place for the overload, call Jessup Premium Storage at 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage units are indoors, climate-controlled, and they have 24-hour surveillance and on-site management. You have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to your unit. Sizes range from 5x5 to 10x25. They also have outside covered and uncovered spaces available for vehicles, boats, trailers, and RVs. Jessup Premium Storage on the Waycross Highway in Jessup.
You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO, FM in Jessup 105.5 on your FM dial. Good morning, everyone. Time now is 7:59 on this Thursday morning, the 3rd day of May. Baseball Thursday. The Wayne County varsity baseball team in second-round playoff action here at home at Howard Bo Warden Field, taking on the Ola Mustangs. Our coverage will begin at 4 o'clock this afternoon with play-by-play with Joe Roddy, and first pitch at 4:30. A doubleheader today. And in tomorrow, it's the best 2 out of 3 series, like last week when we defeated Bainbridge. And you can get out there. We want you to get out there and pack the park. We'd like to see a lot of gold and white and black and yellow out there. Big crowd cheering on the Yellow Jackets and intimidating the Ola Mustangs with a big crowd. And if for some reason you cannot make it, we will bring the action to you right here on 105.5 FM. And also, you can listen to it worldwide on our website at BigDogCountry.com, and you can listen to it on your smartphone. If you don't have our free app yet, go to your favorite app store, type in Big Dog, WIFO, follow the instructions. The Big Dog logo will come up there on your screen, and you can click on it to listen to the game, the morning show every single weekday morning from 7 to 9. Wayne County football, softball, and when we don't have all that going on, we stream our AM station, Fox Sports Radio 1370 AM The Buzz. World-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Jessup Premium Storage located out here on the Waycross Highway, and by Murphy Builder Supply located on Northeast Bar Street in downtown Jessup, just down from the Big Red Caboose. Now, we are scheduled to have Speaker of the House David Ralston on in just a moment. He's supposed to be calling in from wherever he's at this morning up there in North Georgia. And Speaker of the House David Ralston will be our special guest in just a moment here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, just waiting for his phone call right now. And a little bit about David Ralston, the Speaker of the House. He graduated from North Georgia College and later from the University of Georgia Law School. He served in the Georgia Senate for 6 years, ran for Attorney General where he won the Republican nomination but lost in the general election. He was elected as state representative in 2002. He was selected as Speaker of the House by his fellow House members in 2010 and has been reelected every 2 years since then. So 8 years he's been Speaker of the House and is the longest-serving Republican Speaker of the House. And so that's a little bit of background about Speaker of the House David Ralston. It's known in the state of Georgia that the Speaker of the House is usually the second most powerful man in the state of Georgia next to the governor. And there's some questions that we're going to be talking with Speaker of the House David Ralston this morning when he calls in. And hopefully that'll be in just a moment here on 105.5 FM. Just waiting for his call. And, of course, the Speaker of the House, I'm sure that he's busy on the phone all the time. And then after we get through speaking with Speaker of the House, David Ralston, we've got a candidate for County Commission, Larry Brantley. He's out in the green room right now, waiting to come on after we get through speaking with Speaker of the House, David Ralston. Just waiting for his phone call right now, and hopefully he'll be calling in just a moment from North Georgia. I'm not exactly sure what town he lives in up there. I just know that he's originally from Ellijay, Georgia. If you've never been to Ellijay, that is a beautiful area up there. Let me tell you, just gorgeous, right on the foothills of the Appalachians there, and just a gorgeous area up there. So if you ever get up to north of Atlanta, visit Ellijay up there a little bit. It's a gorgeous area up there. Nice hills and small mountains and activities and all kinds of fun up there in Ellijay. So once again, we're waiting for Speaker of the House David Ralston to call in and to be here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. That was scheduled, but you know how it is sometimes. You get tied up, and you cannot make the phone calls when you want to. So we're still waiting for Speaker of the House, David Ralston, to call in. Now, as soon as we get through with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, we'll have news from Fox News Radio. We'll have state news from the Georgia News Network. We got a giveaway coming your way before long here at 105.5 FM in Jessup. And then we'll start with today's best country, playing today's biggest country hits from today's hottest country stars. Plus, we also play a great selection of those classic country hits from yesteryear from the legends of country music. The best of the old and new blended perfectly together right here on 105.5 FM in Jessup. And tomorrow morning, as we do every single Saturday morning, we have Scott Shannon's America's Greatest Hits. Every single Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 12 noon as Scott Shannon, he plays America's Greatest Hits, playing those rock and roll classics from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And not only does he play the songs, he talks to some of the artists, history of some of the songs, backgrounds on the music and the artists, and lots of great information and special features. So if you like classic pop, rock and roll, Motown and soul, and plus all kinds of music trivia and special features, you'll love listening to Scott Shannon's America's Greatest Hits, exclusively heard here in Southeast Georgia on WIFO 105.5 FM, Saturday mornings from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. So once again, we're still waiting for Speaker of the House, David Ralston, to call in just a couple of moments here on 105.5 FM. And I've got some questions I'm going to be talking to him about. And as for Bob Morgan, we still get a lot of questions about Bob, our news and sports director, who had surgery on Monday for intestinal cancer. And that tumor has been removed, and everything is looking good. He's recovering good as far as we know. He should be home soon, and hopefully he'll be back here at the station in a couple of weeks after it kind of heals up a little bit from the surgery. But everybody's missed Bob Morgan being on the air with his local news and sports. And, of course, I know it's probably just going to be eating at Bob today, not being able to do the play-by-play of the game the series between Wayne County and Ola, which begins this afternoon at 4:30 at Howard Bo Warren Field. But I'm sure Bob will be tuned in down there at the hospital, either on his smartphone or on a tablet or computer, so he can listen on BigDogCountry.com or on his tablet. Or on a smartphone. A lot of people listen to the games on their smartphone. It's amazing to me. They'll call in and say, "Now, how do I get that app again?" And we tell them to go to their favorite app store, just type in Big Dog WIFO, follow the instructions, and follow the instructions in the Big Dog logo. I've got it on my phone right now, and it says Big Dog WIFO, got the Big Dog logo right there, and many times I'll click on that if I'm out of town to listen to programs there. So, do you still have the radio app? Says I can't find it. So I'll just talk to our production man, Jonathan. We still have the Big Dog app that people can go to, don't we?
Apple or Android?
What's that?
Apple or Android?
What'd you say?
Apple or Android? Which
Apple
one?
or Android? Apple or Android? In any app store, right?
I haven't been able to find the Apple app. I haven't been able to find the Apple app.
You haven't been able to find the Apple app?
You have to have an iPhone to do that.
You got to have an iPhone to find the Apple app.
You can't find it. And that name, you have to pay the $99.
Okay, but you can get it on Android, right?
Yes.
On any Android app there. So that's what I've got on mine. I've got an Android. I got a Samsung here, and that. So just go to your favorite app store and type in Big Dog WIFO, and the logo should come up there. And we got a lot of folks who listen to the ball games on their smartphone, listen to the morning show on their smartphone, and other special programming from 105.5 FM. It's 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. It could be that Speaker of the House, David Ralston, got tied up this morning with an important business. You know, as Speaker of the House, you know he's very busy. A lot of things that he's got to take care of, a lot of things he's responsible for. We're going to take a quick break right now, and we're going to go ahead and get candidate for county commissioner, Larry Brantley, to move on from the green room back to move here into the studio. And we'll go ahead and start speaking to him unless Speaker of the House David Ralston calls in. We'll be back in a minute here on 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country, WIFO.
Can you find it? The Georgia Dermatology WIFO FM Big Dog Country Cash Can. Imagine, if you will, a specially marked can hidden in Wayne County, Georgia, worth $1,055. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, find the cash can. Clues to the can's location will be read Monday through Friday live on WIFO at 7:10 a.m., 12:50 p.m., 3:03 p.m., and 5:50 p.m. Shortly after 5 p.m. on Friday, the clues will be posted online at BigDogCountry.com. No purchase necessary. You must be 18 to claim the prize. Complete rules online at BigDogCountry.com. Coming soon. This promo will self-destruct in flash.
Good morning, everyone. We begin our Thursday with clear skies. Today we're going to enjoy sunshine as afternoon highs climb into the low 80s. A little bit of a breeze to the afternoon. Tonight our skies will be clear. Tomorrow, sunshine, highs close to 80 degrees. Friday we're keeping the sunshine around, but it gets warmer. Afternoon highs moving into the mid-80s. I'm Georgia meteorologist Laura Huckabee in the GNN Weather Center.
WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. And we don't have Speaker of the House, David Ralston, on the phone with us right now. But we do have someone that, well, we're all concerned about, been praying for. It is now at the hospital down in Jacksonville. On the air with us right now is our very own Bob Morgan. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. I just wanted to call and wish the Wayne County Governor Texas the best of luck and encourage everybody to go back to the park. And hopefully I can be back for the next series. They're talking about maybe letting me go today sometime. So just want to thank everybody in Wayne County for all the love and support. And all the people that came to see me in the hospital, I was very appreciative. So I just wanted to call in and wish the Yellow Jacks the best of luck and encourage Wayne County to pack the park in this all-important series against all of us. So.
Okay, on the phone with us right now, Big Dog Country's very own Bob Morgan, who just had surgery. He's down there at Shands Hospital in Jacksonville. How do you feel? What did the surgeon say, and what's your recovery time? Did he say?
Well, the surgeon said the surgery went well, so, that's the good news. So they're still talking about releasing me today, so the doctor just came back in, so I got to go. So just wanted to let everybody know that I'm doing well. Thanks for all the prayers and support, and hopefully I'll see everybody back at the ballpark soon.
Okay, Bob. Look forward to having you back here in town.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day. All right, our very own Bob Morgan right there calling from Shands Hospital down in Jacksonville, going through that surgery for intestinal cancer. They found a tumor in there, and hopefully, from what the surgeon said, it has been confined to that one spot and has not spread. At least that's the diagnosis right now. And that would be extremely good news if it continues with that information there that he received from the surgeon, that it just was confined to that one spot and didn't spread. So far, that's the news. Hopefully, we'll continue that way as more tests are done. Well, apparently the Speaker of the House, David Ralston, got tied up. I know that we'll reschedule that and have him back on again another day. Someone just texted in, so good to hear Bob's voice. And that's right, even though it sounded weak, which it should be, because he's the one just gone through surgery, it was great for Bob to call in this morning and wish the Yellow Jackets the very best today in their playoff series against the Ola Mustangs. Doubleheader today at Howard Bo Warren Field. First game starts at 4:30, and then the second game 30 minutes after that. And the if game will be tomorrow afternoon. You're listening to the world-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on Big Dog Country, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. We'll continue on with the Butch and Bob Show. We have as our guest this morning, candidate for County Commission, Larry Brantley. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Butch.
How are you doing?
I am doing well, and let me say this, go Jackets, before we get started.
Yeah, go Jackets. Go Jackets. And Larry Brantley running for political office, running for county commission. And which seat is that?
District 3.
District 3, okay. And I think there's you got the incumbent Mike Roberts, and you got another Farrell running, Farrell Cooksey, okay.
And Kenny Teston.
Kenny's on the the Democratic side?
Democratic side.
So that wouldn't be into the general election, but right now for the primary election, which early voting began Monday, so folks right now are heading to the polls to vote for their party's nominee. So right now on the Republican side, it's with the incumbent Mike Roberts and, of course, Larry Brantley, who's in the studio with us, a challenger, and Farrell Cooksey as a challenger. Now, what got you to the point where you said, I want to run for county commission?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm very concerned about our budget. We're broke. There's no other way to put it. And we're spending money like we're not broke, in my opinion. And I'm the type of person, I'm going to get involved. And that's the only way you can change anything is get involved. I feel like I can bring some things to the table that would tighten our budget up, save us money, and lower our millage rate. That's the whole thing in a nutshell, is get the millage rate down to where we can afford it.
Larry, you were talking about trying to get the budget in line. Do you have ideas? What is going through your mind on things that you have taken a look at as a citizen of Wayne County that you could do as a county commissioner to try to help reduce that millage rate and get the budget in line?
I have a lot of experience on the road and the highway department. I've worked for 25 years with the highway department and 11 years with the Department of Defense. There's certain ways you can cut out funds that are unnecessarily. We're in a tight squeeze where if it doesn't need to be bought, it shouldn't be bought. And there's a very large difference between wants and needs. And I think we have a lot of wants to where we're not looking at our real needs. And the only way to reduce money is look at real needs. You know, you've got to have a positive change in order to do anything. And we must sit down and communicate with each other. I feel that's the biggest problem we have in Wayne County is our boards don't communicate with each other. We have a lot of boards in Wayne County that control the money that we spend, or they spend, or we give them. Well, the only way you can do this is sit down at a round table, square table, it doesn't matter, and control the money. Talk to each other. Let each other know what's going on.
Okay. Candidate for county commissioner Larry Brantley in the studio this morning, Republican, running for the Republican ticket. Now, tell us a little bit, folks who don't know Larry Brantley, all right? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, family, work experience, education, that kind of stuff.
I'm homegrown, right here from Wayne County. I spent 7 years in the United States Marine Corps and 11 years in the Army National Guard. I have two sons. One lives in Callahan, Florida, and one lives here. I love Wayne County. Been here most of life on the river. I own Autumn Hall River Expeditions. I do a lot of things outside with a lot of young people and older people that like to paddle. And I just feel like we have a great asset right here in Wayne County. We're not utilizing it.
Okay. Tell us about Autumn Hall Expeditions. What is that, and how can it help folks?
Well, that brings people to Wayne County. They paddle the river. That's Autumn Hall River Expedition is where I own kayaks and canoes, and I carry people up and down the river, or they paddle down the river.
Paddle down and get a ride back up.
Get a ride back up.
But you can't paddle up against Autumn Hall.
Yeah. Paddling up takes a pretty good man, and that ain't Larry. But anyway, that brings a lot of people to Wayne County to stay in the motels just to see our county. And that's what we need. We need outside people coming in. Those people that come down here and do that usually are business owners, a lot of them, and they look at Wayne County and they say, well, do I want to relocate here? You know, that happens every day. So anything we can do to bring them to Wayne County is what we need.
Okay, yeah, that is a big asset that we have out there is the river. I was watching a nature show the other day, and it said there's 42 million birders in America. That's people who go out there and their hobby is to get out into nature and observe and watch birds. And I know that a lot of folks do that on the Autumn Hall.
They do, right there at J.C. Landon. My mother ran that for 19 years. I've seen a lot of people come there and sit at that point and do nothing but look for birds. And I've carried a many one up down the river looking for birds, and that's just what they like to do.
I know, and it's just amazing about that, but it's a great asset we have out there. Now, what are some of your thoughts and feelings and ideas, Larry, about trying to attract new industry, whether it's one that employs 25 people, 100 people, 500 people? I know it's more difficult as the employment goes up. What do you do to attract those people anywhere, let's say, from 50 to about 250 employees? Because it's about what you get these days.
Well, you're right, and there's not but one way to do it, and everyone knows this. You have to be in the circle. In order to be, we have an economic development section in Atlanta. That's all they do. People call there and want to know, what do you have to offer in the state of Georgia? Well, I think Mr. Dale Keith is over our IDA over here.
Yes.
If he is not in the circle, and I believe he is, I believe he goes up regularly and does well and tries to get people to come down here to look at our fair city. Now, we have had some changes of our process in that area, and it's done well. Now, personally, I'd rather see a 25-person employer come in. We do not have the finance to offer a 500-person building down here.
That's very difficult to get these days. Even when you see them go into areas like Savannah, they'll usually talk about this is going to create 100 jobs or 150. With so much automation these days, the employment now. But if you can get an industry to program in to bring anywhere from 25 to 150, that's a pretty good coup for a small town.
It is a real good coup, and I'd rather them go after that. And I think that's what he's pretty much going after is that. Because they can offer them so many incentives to come here. We have some great buildings in this town that are unoccupied right now. And I believe he's working on those, trying to get those filled.
We have the natural gas line that's going to be heading out Highway 341 to the new industrial park that's being developed out there. And there are some talks about possibly an industry coming in out there that's in the talking stage right now. And so hopefully that gas line going out there will help attract industry to the new industrial park out there on Highway 341 South. You got the railroad right out there with it. You've got a 4-lane road, Highway 341, that goes down to the Port of Brunswick or goes down to the interstate and then, of course, up to Savannah. And, I remember years ago when the Chamber and the Tourism Board and everybody got together and came up with the slogan, Wayne County, where it all comes together. And we're still trying to work on that and try to promote the idea that 2 4-lane roads, 2 major highways, close to the interstate, nice railroad system, close to 2 ports. And so we're still trying to attract that. And as a county commissioner, what would you do to try to help encourage the IDA to be able to attract more of this type of businesses?
Well, being a county commissioner, all you can do is support them. Try to give them the tools they need to do their job. And that's all you can ask for. I believe we have a very active IDA from what I've seen and talked to people. But the gas line, let me go back a minute, Bob. The gas line was a big thing. People do not realize what that gas line has done. Plus, we did not have to pay for it. And that's a plus when I say we, Wayne County. So everything they do help us. And they're trying to concentrate, I honestly believe, on 25 or less jobs in this county. Sometimes it's better to sell a small project than it is a large project, or a lot easier, money-wise. Like I said, we're broke. We don't have a whole lot to offer other than expertise in areas and things of that nature.
Okay, can you hold one moment here, please? Yes. This could be him. Hold on one second. We'll be back with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a moment.
Good morning, everyone. We begin our Thursday with clear skies. Today we're going to enjoy sunshine as afternoon highs climb into the low 80s. A little bit of a breeze to the afternoon. Tonight our skies will be clear. Tomorrow, sunshine, highs close to 80 degrees. Friday we're keeping the sunshine around, but it gets warmer. Afternoon highs moving into the mid-80s. I'm Georgia meteorologist Laura Huckabee in the GNN Weather Center.
WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. And we do have on the phone right now Speaker of the House of the state of Georgia, the Honorable David Ralston. Good morning. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great, Butch. It's good to be with you.
And where are you this morning? Up there in North Georgia somewhere?
I'm in North Georgia. We had a forum I was at last night, and then I have a couple of prayer services today here, and then I'll be headed back to Atlanta later today. So it's a busy time of year for us.
Okay. Right at the beginning of the Butch and Bob Show, I gave a little bio on you that you're from the LJ area, which I was telling folks that's just a gorgeous area up there. And I know that you're from that area, and you graduated from the University of Georgia, go Dogs, as from the law school there. But you've been Speaker of the House now for quite a while. And tell folks, just in case they don't know, what is the major role of the Speaker of the House in the State of Representatives here in the state of Georgia?
Well, in the state of Georgia, the Speaker of the House is in charge of organizing the House, which means that the Speaker makes recommendations about committee assignments and committee leadership, has input into what legislation moves forward or what doesn't. He or she basically is the face of the House and has a lot of responsibility for managing the House agenda as it moves forward. So a good bit of work to do, and but it's a great honor to do this job, and I try to do it the best that I possibly can.
Okay, and so Speaker of the House, David Ralston, on the phone with us this morning from North Georgia. And the legislative session ended up a few weeks ago. What do you see as some of the highlights, some of the top bills that were passed and some of the things that were done by both the Senate and the House and the governor that will move forward here in the state of Georgia with bills signed, laws implemented?
Well, I think overall we had one of the best sessions that we've had in a number of years. We passed the first cut to the state income tax since the income tax was put in place in the early 1930s. I think that's going to mean a lot to Georgians as we go forward. We were able for the first time to fully fund the QBE formula, which means that the austerity cuts to public education are over.
So full funding back for education now, right?
Excuse me?
Full funding back for education after the years of having to be cut.
That's correct. We also appropriated money to assist every school system in the state to strengthen their assets against violence. This was, we felt like, a more appropriate response to the tragedy of the Parkland school shooting than to restrict the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. So every school system in the state of Georgia is going to get a grant to make the improvements they deem necessary. So that was something I was very proud of. Another thing that I think was very significant was when we passed the new adoption law. Our adoption laws in Georgia had not been updated in a little over 30 years, and adoptions we found were getting more cumbersome. They were taking longer in Georgia. There were obstacles that should not be in the path of adoption. I think this is going to expedite and make smoother the adoption process so that we can get the most vulnerable of our children into permanent, stable, loving homes. And I think that's going to be very significant. And finally, and we can talk about this in further detail because it's something I'm very passionate about, but we were able to move forward on our Rural Development Council initiative that we started about a year ago, trying to create a climate in rural Georgia so that job growth, we can bring job growth to rural Georgia. I, for one, believe, as a resident of rural Georgia, that the kind of job that you get ought not to depend on your zip code. And I think there are many Georgians that agree with that. And so we, in health care and broadband and infrastructure, we were able to move the ball down the field in a very significant way. We've got some more work to do, but that's very important work to me and to the members of the House right now.
Who are some of the people that would be involved? You know, you don't the entire list, but what kind of people are involved with the House Rural Development Council?
I'm sorry?
Who? The council itself, the Rural Development Council. Who's all involved with that? Who's running with the ball with that?
So we have about 22 members that are the leadership of the House, and that includes Representative Bill Werkheiser from down there in your area. Representative Werkheiser is a member of that council and a very, very important and hard-working member. This group was put together at the end of the 2017 legislative session, and I gave them the charge at that time to go around the state and to go into rural Georgia and to meet with local government leaders and business leaders and medical professionals and teachers and everyone who cared about the community and find out what their needs were. The only restriction that I put on the group was I told them they were not to meet in Atlanta. And so as a result, they have had meetings in Tifton and Bainbridge and Thomasville. They've met in Metter. They have met in Ellijay. They've met in Toccoa, Milledgeville. They truly have met all over the state. They will pick back up in a couple of weeks with their hearings for this year. But these really are the finest leaders in the House because this work to me is that important. It's a lot of committee chairs, a lot of people who, whether it's in agribusiness or whatever it might be, that impacts rural Georgia are real leaders, and so this is something that's going to become increasingly a priority for us. I think rural Georgia had the best session this year that it had ever had, and next year I want to top that.
Now, the Rural Development Council is meeting, going around, talking to folks, gathering information. What will be done with that information? Who will they report to, and what will be done with all that information to help rural Georgia?
What the council did this year was I asked them to bring back what we called an interim report, which was a report of basically where they were at the end of the first year, so we could identify which of those ideas and recommendations we could actually put into legislative form and take up during this past session, and we did that. So at the end of 2018, they will bring to us a final report based on the completion of their work, and we will see what of those proposals and recommendations that we can put into legislative form, and what's going to need a change in the law through legislation, or what's going to need attention in the budget, or whatever the case may be. That's what we want to get done, and as I say, I am very, very excited about the work of this group. I think we
Speaker of the House, David Ralston, on the phone with us this morning from North Georgia. He was just talking about the House Rural Development Council. And once all this information, it's just the reason why I can't stay on this point, because it is so important. We do have a candidate in the studio with us right now who's running for county commission, and we've been talking to him, and of course now we're talking with you. And with this, all this information, what is your goal, Speaker of the House, Ralston, for this information to do for areas like Wayne County and Long County and Brantley County and Pierce County and Macon County and all the counties around us? What will this information, how will it help us develop in these rural communities?
Well, the ultimate goal is to identify ways that we can help small business create jobs, whether it's through agribusiness or maybe manufacturing or whatever the case may be. To do that, you have to have certain things in place, obviously, and people expect access to quality health care. We have to have infrastructure in place. One of the things that we identified as very, very critical to economic revitalization of the rural part of the state is high-speed broadband access. Because businesses, schools, medical professionals all depend to a larger degree on internet access, on quality, high-speed internet access. So I think when you get those pieces in place, then you have a climate where business will want to come to rural Georgia, so that our young people will not have to leave, and as too many have to leave from up here in the mountains, even, for example.
Yeah, you being from a rural area like that,
to find good jobs, and I'm sure that's the case in southeast Georgia. I hope that we can. Our goal is to reverse that trend, so that there will be quality job opportunities for our young people, so that if they choose to stay in Tattnall County or Wayne County or any of the counties in that part of the state, they'll have that opportunity.
Speaker of the House, David Ralston, we just had someone text in to us that one of the candidates for governor says he has a plan to do away with state income tax. Do you see that as a possibility for the state of Georgia? And was that said by one of the candidates?
Well, you always have a lot of these proposals that come out during campaign season. We've looked at tax reform over a number of years, and I can tell you that that's something that's a lot harder to say than to do. I live about 12 miles from a state that does not have an income tax, that being Tennessee. So what Tennessee does, even though they do not have an income tax, they tax everything that don't move up there.
Kind of like Florida. I'm always open to looking at ideas as to how we can do that, but I will tell you that we have to be very, very careful. This is more than something that you put on a bumper sticker, more than something you run a political ad about. Other states have tried this. Kansas is in incredibly serious financial shape today because they tried doing this. North Carolina tried it on a limited basis and didn't work terribly well up there. So you have to be very, very careful with that. Having said that, I'm always open to entertain responsible, reasonable ideas and take a look at those. Nobody likes the income tax.
depend on, then we have to have some way of paying for that. And you know, I have to add one thing, Butch, that, you know, we've done a good job of managing with the help of people like Bill Werkheiser. We've managed through some tough economic times here in Georgia, and we're still operating a state budget in real dollars. That's about the same as it was 10 years ago, but the problem is we got more than 1 million more people in Georgia. And that takes some hard work and some responsible planning.
Okay, Speaker of the House, David Ralston, on the phone with us this morning from North Georgia. One final question there for you, Speaker. We're down here close to the coast, and, of course, the ports are always on our mind. What role does the Georgia ports play, especially for our area of the state?
Well, there's no bigger champion of the ports than Bill Werkheiser. I know that he and I have worked on that issue since he came to the House, and Bill is playing one of our lead roles in that. So I'm just going to throw that out there, that people that care about the future of the port and seeing the port expand need to remember that over the next 2.5 or 3 weeks, that nobody understands that issue better and is more committed and has more effectiveness and credibility than Bill does. But the port is moving along. We're in the fairly early stages of deepening the harbor, and I'm really excited about what the long-range impact on our economy for all of the state is going to be. And particularly when you look at the fact that we have developed some inland ports, such as in Bainbridge and Cordele, Chatsworth, communities like that, where we're creating facilities that will provide easy connectivity for all parts of the state with the port. It's going to mean that products and goods that are manufactured or processed all over this state will be able to get to the port on an expedited basis. But I think that port is going to mean just incredible things for our future and for the economic future of Georgia in terms of providing greater capacity for shipping all over the world, and opens up markets like they've never been opened up all over the globe for Georgia-grown products.
All right, on the phone with us this morning is Speaker of the House, David Ralston, calling in from North Georgia. And, Speaker, we do really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us here on Big Dog Country, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. I know folks, like to hear from the leaders of the state of Georgia, and you're one of the top ones. They always say the Speaker of the House, the second most powerful position in the state of Georgia, and next to the governor. And we do appreciate you calling in this morning and giving your opinions on items and subjects that are important to us here in South Georgia.
Well, Butch, thank you very much, and I look forward to getting back around Jessup and Wayne County in southeast Georgia. I'm going to be down in Glenville on Monday. Looking forward to visiting with a lot of friends there to help my friend Bill Werkheiser and talk about how important it is that the people send him back to the Capitol next session. And I love that part of the state. And I always feel at home when I'm there, and I look forward to getting down there next week and again soon.
And make sure you take home a bunch of sweet Vidalia onions with you, because they're coming out of the ground right now.
Oh, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
All right, Speaker of the House, David Ralston, calling this morning here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Speaker, thank you very much for calling in. We wish you a wonderful day and a safe trip down here to the Glenville area on Monday, okay?
Thank you very much, Butch, and you You have a great day.
All right, thank you. All right, on the phone with us this morning from North Georgia, Speaker of the House, David Ralston, calling in to give us some input on some of the bills passed and some of the information from this past session. And Larry Brantley, candidate for county commissioner here in Wayne County. We talked to him a little bit, and then the speaker called in. Larry, what did you take from that interview with Speaker of the House, David Ralston?
Well, it goes back to what you and I were talking about, the IDA and jobs and opportunities in Wayne County, and the group that he has formed, it sounds like it's going to be a big asset. The key word I got out of that was we need to be ready. The IDA needs to be ready, because when they call and want a place to put something, we cannot afford to be on the back burner. We have to be up front and running. And let me say this, I think we have a good board down there. Dale Keith, Ralph Troutnell, Mike Birch, and the rest of those guys are professional people, and that is what they're looking for. They're looking for business and ways to bring money to our tax digest that will lower it for the property owners in Wayne County.
Okay. Larry Brantley in here, candidate for the Republican ticket for the county commission. And I'm sure that, Larry, you're encouraging folks to get out there and vote. Early voting going on right now.
It is, and I understand from Monday was the largest day we've ever had with early voting, is what they told me.
Yeah, I think in the last election, from what Bob said, that right at half or over half of the ballots cast were done during the 3 weeks actually before Election Day.
That's correct. I heard it was over 50%, but, you know, and I'm sure they could tell us at the registrar's office.
Yeah, it was somewhere along there. Wrapping up the interview with you here, Larry, we always ask the candidate about the last question is, why are you running, and why should people vote for Larry Brantley for county commissioner?
I am running because I do not like the way our county is going. You cannot borrow your money itself out of debt. You've got to be able to work within your digest, or be able to think outside the box to be able to create ways to generate income for the county. I don't see any of that happening. There's a good group of guys up there. Am I smarter than they are? I can't answer that. But I do believe I can come up with ways that would help Wayne County get out of the deficit that we're in.
Okay. All right. Candidate for County Commission, Larry Brantley, in the studio with us this morning. Larry, thanks for coming in this morning and sharing with us your thoughts and feelings about the reasons why you're running for County Commission.
Thank you, Butch, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
All right. Have a good day. Well, we got another guest out there in the green room. You're listening to Big Dog Country Radio, world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup, by Jessup Premium Storage, and by Mike Birch Ford. 845, 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. We got a giveaway coming your way real soon, so keep tuned in for your chance to win.
Altamaha Classic Cruisers presents Cruising to the Oldies, sponsored by R&R Auto and Camper Sales. Saturday, May 5th from 9 until 2 in downtown Jessup, benefiting the Boys and Girls Club, Fairhaven Women's Shelter, Hospice of South Georgia, and 4-H. Registration from 9 until 11, $25. Best of show, older and newer vehicle, club participation, top 30 classic autos and trucks, plus categories for newer autos and trucks, imports, wrap rods, Pro Street, and resto rods. Door prizes, a TV drawing, 50-50 raffle, and great music. Cruising to the Oldies, sponsored by R&R Auto and Camper Sales. Saturday, May 5th from 9 until 2 in downtown Jessup. For more information, 269-7330.
Good old Ed Exley's is with us right now. He says, Butch, I'm not a guest. Well, yeah. Well, sort of, you're a guest. This is the time that we do every single week, a couple times a week. We'll have Ed Exley in here for a paid broadcast by Wayne Feed and Seed to talk for about 2 or 3 minutes about what's going on at one of Wayne County's newest businesses, Wayne Feed and Seed, located on West Cherry Street in Jessup, across from the Interstate Credit Union. What's going on at Wayne Feed and Seed, Ed?
Man, it's happening.
It's happening, huh?
I hit the door this morning. They were chirping in my ear.
They were.
Baby chicks.
Baby chicks. Still there.
Still. Well, we got some fresh ones in.
Fresh ones in?
Yeah, these right out the bakery.
All right, tell us what's going on.
We got some Barred Rocks, Buff Orpingtons, and Americana chicks. I got them separated, males and females. So we'd love for you to come down and get your baby chicks going. The weather's nice and warm now. They'll survive real well now. So they're $3.25 for pullets. That's females, girls.
Okay.
$3.25. So you come on down and pick you up a few of those.
So girls are called pullets.
Pullets.
What do the guys call them?
Roosters.
Roosters. Okay, which is one I didn't know. Pullets, I always think of chickens, but it's pullets and roosters, all right?
Pullets and roosters, that's right.
All right.
All right, and then it's a good time to fertilize grass now that the weather's warmed up. And,
Yes, sir.
It's just a good time to get out there and get that done. And for centipede, we recommend our 15015.
15015.
For centipede.
Okay.
For St. Augustine, 1648. And if you don't know what you got, use 1648.
Okay.
But those are the two fertilizers you'd want to use on your grass. Don't use 10-10-10.
Okay.
That's just not a good one to use.
Right. And so folks, not only at Wayne Feed and Seed do you get top brand names, and you get great prices. I mean, people think, oh, you got to go to the big box store to get good prices. No, you don't have to. You can go to Wayne Feed and Seed and get great prices, quality products, name brand products. But not only do you get all that, you get the experts to help you pick out the right product for your lawn, your garden, your pet food, and other items.
That's right. We got what it takes. We know what it takes.
Yes, you do.
All right, another thing we got going on. Mother's Day is not this Sunday, but next Sunday, and I always refer to them as doghouse flowers.
Doghouse flowers.
Right.
Called.
If you don't get one, you'll be in the doghouse with the flower hanging front.
So what kind of flowers do you have at Wayne Feed and
We've got
Seed?
some hanging baskets, and also we'll have some color bowls. Those will be fresh in tomorrow.
Color bowls?
Yeah, they're like a 16-inch ceramic-looking bowl with a mixture of flowers in them that will last all summer.
Okay, good.
So those will be in tomorrow, and we'll probably get some more in next week. So come by and stay out of the doghouse.
Okay, we got Ed Exley in here from Wayne Feed and Seed.
We got one last thing.
Sure.
Fish Day's coming up, and we want everybody to call and make their reservations for their bass, because now's the time of the year to put their bass in their ponds. Bluegill shellcracker, or catfish, or a sterile grass carp.
Well, tell us about Fish Day. When's that day going to be?
I didn't write the date down.
You write the date down, but you're going to have
it's the Tuesday after Memorial Day, whatever that figures
Okay,
out.
the Tuesday after Memorial Day, you'll have the truck come in with all the different little fish.
Right. And you need to call and make reservations. You need to go ahead and get that done right away so we can get you on the list.
Okay, so call Wayne Feed and Seed and get ready to stock your pond or lake with the different type of fish.
That's at 559-6990. 559-6990 or 712 West Cherry Street.
Okay, let's go ahead and get ready to stock that pond.
That's right. It's time to get it done.
All right, Wayne Feed and Seed. Ed Exley in this morning from Wayne Feed and Seed, located on West Cherry Street in Jessup, across the Interstate Credit Union. Well, Ed, we look forward to talking to you next week.
Be there Tuesday.
All right. And that was Ed Exley of Wayne Feed and Seed, located here in Jessup. The time now is 8:50. Yes, we're running behind, but, that's just the way it is. Don't mind at all. A lot of great guests this morning with candidate for County Commission Larry Brantley and, of course, Speaker of the House David Ralston.